Love in America is brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source.
The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for nearly 4 decades and is one of the largest family-owned jewelry stores in America.
We have the largest selection of white and fancy colored diamonds and gemstones you'll find anywhere.
We also have private areas for VIP viewings.
Only at the Gold and Diamond Source.
Everyone has a story to tell. It's my mission to tell it. Unscripted, unedited. We are on the record.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sarina Fazan, and welcome to Love in America. Everybody has a story, right? And love stories are the ones that I love sharing the most. Today in the house, we have Jenn and Tim Meister. Thank you so much for joining us. And we met Jenn because you were on the Record.
I was.
On our flagship show, On the Record, a family attorney. You gave some great advice about surrogacy. And then I said, Jenn, tell us about your love story. Please come back to Love in America. All right, so Tim, Jenn, again, thank you so much for being here. Let's get into it. Okay, Tim, let's start with you. How did you guys meet?
We actually met online.
Yes, we did.
On a interracial website. She hit me up on the site saying, do you come to New York often? I lied my butt off and said all the time.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, all right, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you lived in New York, clearly, right, at this time.
I did.
And you lived where?
I was in Michigan at the time, going to college.
Okay, and then let's talk about, so there really is an app for all sorts of dating, right, Tim?
Everything you're into. Absolutely everything you're into.
So tell us about the app a little bit, this particular app.
So it was actually somewhat designed like eHarmony, and it was, but it was for persons who like to date of the opposite race or different races and wanted to try something new. And so I thought that sounded kind of interesting, and I jumped on. And they start out with like a little bit of a questionnaire, so I just checked boxes, and I was like, "Oh, this will be fun," and then I let it rip, and he was #1.
You're kidding? Okay, so how long ago was this?
2009.
Wow.
The summer of 2009.
Okay, so Jenn, I mean, how cute is it that your husband said, when you asked if you go to New York often, he said, "Sure."
All the time.
All the time.
That's all I said. And
But Tim, you did not go all the time.
No, but I love New York. I love the city. So, hey, an excuse to go. It's all right with me.
It meant a lot because it was like, well, learning about it later, I was like, wow, he really did want to meet me, because that would have probably been a deal breaker if he didn't come over often.
Okay, so were you in law school at the time?
I was. I was at Fordham Law.
So you were at law school, and you guys decide to meet, and he was the first person. Okay, so what happened? How did the first meeting take place?
Wow, can I tell this one?
You can.
So we met. I drove from Cincinnati, because my parents live in Cincinnati, to New York. It's about a 10-hour drive. It's not too bad. And I met her at a subway station in Brooklyn, New York. Parked my car, and she's texting me saying, "Hey, I'm coming up the subway station." And this is the first time we saw each other in person. Looking around, and there I saw her. So I walked across the street, and we kissed.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love the show. Unscripted, unedited. All right. Okay. Had you guys been talking a lot before?
Oh, yeah. Every day. Every day. He used to do push-ups to stay awake.
You're kidding. Okay. So how much did you talk before you met? Like, and when you say
4 times a day. Yeah.
Text
and FaceTime, everything, about 4 times a day. And at night, like I said, he would do the push-ups and like, okay, I'm still here. There wasn't one day that went by that we didn't talk.
And how long did that communication go on? Do you guys remember?
We met online in June, and then he came over to New York in August.
Wow. Okay. So you see her. Was it love at first sight, Tim?
It was. I actually went in for the kiss, and I was like, wow, okay. I felt like I knew her personally, so I was like, and she
Yeah.
She was nervous. She has this nervous giggle.
I was. I do have a nervous giggle. I was nervous, and I didn't see him right away. So here I am coming up the stairs, and I'm fixing hair and everything. And
Subway guy.
The subway, there's like a teller in the subway, and he was like, "It's okay, girl. You look great." You know, like that, 'cause I was like looking in the poster plexiglass trying to fix my hair. So I go up, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I got stood up." I didn't see him, like, was like catfished. Like, I freaked out. I just could not see him. And here he saw me and was walking toward me, and I was like blanking. I didn't. And I'm having this moment, and all of a sudden he's like right in front of me with this bright red Cincinnati Red shirt on, and it was just like, how did I miss him? And then the kiss, and it was like, wow.
And was that it from there?
That was it.
Yeah.
Wow. That was it.
First date was really cheap. We
Yeah.
we walked the dog to Boston Market.
Yes. I had a teacup Yorkie.
It was fun. It was just, it wasn't too fancy. It was just kind of like just.
It was like we'd known each other our whole lives. It was like we grew up together. That was how.
You're kidding.
Yeah, and it was an immediate comfort, trust, protect, everything.
So how long then did you guys talk to me then about your long distance relationship? Because at this point, all right, love at first sight, here you guys are, but you live in 2 different states.
Right.
So what happened?
So at the time, the reason why Tim was in Michigan was he's a U.S. Navy vet.
Thank you so much for your service. No, seriously, there are not enough proper words that we can give to our veterans, so thank you so much.
Absolutely. And so he loved it. He was a navigator in the Navy, and so he was going to be a merchant marine. So he was in Great Lakes Maritime Academy. He's on the water, and
explain what that means. That means on the water for a long time.
Yeah, it was like,
like 6 months at a time.
Carrying like fuel, coal, bunch of stuff just around the road.
Right. So he, the 2 months, I didn't know that was what he was doing or that he was in school for that.
Okay,
and then
take note of that.
Right. Okay. And then I knew I had a year. Of course, I told him I had a year left in law school, and then it was
would
like.
Would that have changed things, though? Do you think would that have changed things if you'd known?
It would have. So I'm actually.
Thank goodness.
In the moment I was like shell shocked, but like I'm actually I'm happy that he didn't tell me, right? Because it would have been a deal breaker. But and then a couple, it was like 2 weeks he had been in New York with me, and then he was like, hey, so so when I go back, I'm just not going to be able to come back for a while. And I was like, what does that mean? And not only did he go out on a ship, but it was like Valdez to Long Beach, California. So he was just gone.
Yeah, Valdez, Alaska to Long Beach, California, just back and forth, back and forth.
So
it was a cool trip. It was neat.
Oh, I can imagine.
It was a great trip,
Tim, let me ask you though. So with those 2 months though that you were talking, so you did you withhold that information on purpose?
I don't remember. I plead the fifth.
Nope, not checking that box.
Well, either way, it's good that you did not, right?
Yeah.
Because, okay, so, and you still had a year of law school left, though.
Right.
Okay, so did you guys talk about this? So you guys talked about it?
Yes, so we had, of course, it was sort of a panic, right? and then it was like, well, how are we going to do it? So he took a bunch of his button-down shirts, because this is Tim, and he sprayed it with his cologne. And left me like 6 shirts with his scent on it. I know.
That is so, okay, I'm sorry. That is so romantic. That is so romantic.
And that was his idea. He did that for me. And he was just like, okay, anytime I'm like near the coast, I will call you. And we just sort of tried to figure out. So of course, in the first couple of weeks, I was like, oh, I can do this. This is great. We're okay. And then about 2 months in, I was like,
Tom
I started
Hanks movie came
out. Yeah.
With where the pirates came on, took a ship. With
Oh
Tom
goodness,
Hanks.
yeah. It seemed like when he was gone, every crazy, scary thing could have happened with mariners. So that was when the cruise ship fell over on its side with the Italian captain, and I couldn't get a hold of him, and I was like freaking out. And then I forgot the name of the movie, Captain something with Tom Cruise, with the pirates take over the ship. Oh, sorry, Tom Hanks. And I'm like, oh, like, why?
So she would call me like, I'm okay. All right.
You know,
It's like, are things happening, or are you noticing things even more, right? I mean, a little bit of both, I'm sure.
Right.
Oh my gosh. So you're okay. So you're doing okay.
We're doing okay, and then literally the next time that I saw him was when I was graduating law school. So it was I saw him in person. So
it was a full year almost, right? That you
No, it
saw
wasn't.
him.
I flew back to New York quite a bit, remember?
right before my
Yeah.
law school graduation.
Yeah.
When did you come back off the ship?
In like December.
See, this is what I love
okay.
about the show. Like, people remember things and like, oh,
Remember
okay,
things.
I remember that.
December of
Remember
2009.
things.
Okay.
Remember things.
So how sweet though. So he comes to your law school graduation.
He does. My friends picked him up. They lived in Ohio. He drove down to them 8 hours, and then they drove across. And then we were together, and then we moved out. Did we move down to Florida right away? No, we moved to Michigan. So I moved to Michigan, studied for the Florida bar in Michigan.
How did you guys decide to come here though? Did you guys, because honestly, for couples out there, that it's a big decision when you both live in two different states.
Oh, huge.
And then how did you guys decide to move here and compromise? I mean, was it compromise or?
So I was all sort of set up to take the New York and the New Jersey bar exam. He was in Michigan. That wasn't going to work. He knew he didn't want to stay in Michigan.
Right.
And then I graduated in 2010 when the bubble hit and all this stuff was crazy, and it was like, how are we going to get jobs? And so I really just was like, hey, I have family in Florida. And he was like, I'll try Florida. And it was that simple. Like, I'll try Florida.
Wow. Well, good for you guys. I'm so happy though. And
yeah, we
how
love it.
serendipitous. That's my favorite word, serendipity. So, okay, so I try to use that as much as I can.
Yes.
All right, so then you moved though for Tim.
I did. I moved he packed my entire life. I was in New York for about 4 or 5 years.
In a Honda Civic.
In a two-door Honda Civic Sport. So there
She was
even
not
less
a nice
room.
person that time.
That was fun. And drove 15 hours all the way to Michigan. And then we lived on top of a barbecue
Restaurant.
a barbecue restaurant.
Which was right next door to Taco Bell.
So yeah, right.
Okay.
In the attic. We lived in the attic.
So how cute though, early memories. Let me
memories.
ask you this, Jen. At this point, you're not engaged or anything,
Right.
Okay. So, but are you thinking, I want to marry this guy?
100%.
100%. So, are you doing this? Because we get this question a lot as women, right?
Am I moving?
So yeah, like, am I moving? I know I'm the ring. Da, 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 da. So, at this point, are you like on faith, or are you confident that he's going to pop the question?
So interestingly enough, communication, at least at that point in our relationship, was incredibly strong.
Mm-hmm.
We were very clear together that we were going to get married. And the plan to move to Florida, all of that, we had agreed on that before I even moved to Michigan. So yes, there was definitely some faith there and some trust there, but I felt it was more of a solid plan.
You had confidence.
I had confidence in the plan, and he was very confident in the plan, I felt. So it didn't feel like it was on a whim.
So Tim, at this point then, since you guys have a great communication, are you thinking, okay, I'm going to propose to her in Michigan, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, so it was Michigan because she was leaving, and I just wanted to kind of get it set in stone before she left, because I had a little more to finish before I went down to Florida, so I had it set in stone. So I did pop the question in Michigan it was a haunted house. It was a restaurant.
Ooh, okay, tell us.
It was a really neat restaurant. She calls it the haunted house.
It was a haunted house.
But
did you know it was coming? Did you know he was going to propose?
So I did, because Tim has a tic when he's nervous. And he was
I'm not really good at keeping...
The whole time, he was like literally shaking. And I'm like, are you okay? And he just looked, oh my God. Oh, he couldn't order. He was just like fumbling everywhere. I was like, what is going on? And then we finished eating. It was like a nice state. They took basically what turned into a museum or a mansion. It was an old steel worker from years ago. Took their house, turned it into several things, and then it was a restaurant, a steakhouse. So we eat and we go outside, and I think there was wasn't there a couple getting married outside?
It's a beautiful area. It's beautiful out there.
And I can't remember anything that he said other than, I want you to have my children. And I'm like,
I don't remember saying that either.
You totally said that. And I was like, wait, what? Because I was looking around, I wasn't focused. And then I turn and he's on a knee and he's shaking like,
That's what you remember. I want you to have my children.
It was also cold outside too.
Okay, it was cold. We'll give him that.
Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. So before we go to a break, though, Tim, Tim, let me ask you. So, with the ring, did you have her input in the ring, or did you surprise her with the ring?
I had her input on it. She likes emerald cut, and she wanted the 3, so I just kind of went from there. Met a friend down at Zales, and
you're like, okay.
with a college budget, and got it done.
So this is what she wants. So when you proposed to her at that, did you know that, okay, I want to propose to her on this day, and I want to do it at this location?
No, actually, I kind of more of a spur of the moment type guy.
You are. He's very spur of the moment.
So yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay, that perfect note to go to a commercial break, and the fact that he said, "Will you have my children?" Because I love your story, your personal story about your children. So stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back.
Yes.
Thinking about getting engaged, planning to upgrade your wedding ring, or finally getting that Rolex?
The Golden Diamond Source can help you in many ways.
You can start a layaway plan for only 10% down and 6 monthly payments.
Take advantage of our 3 to 5 year interest-free financing.
Or you can trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase.
Come to the Golden Diamond Source and find that perfect gift for the ones that you love.
Gems with Them is our way to teach you about the birthstones and the different color gemstones each month represents.
Ruby is the birthstone of July, and when we think about red, we think about ruby.
A ruby is the most valuable gemstone, and its value increases based on the color and quality.
And ruby gets its vivid red color from the element chromium, which is where emeralds get their beautiful bright color as well.
It's a great gift to give someone you care about. Come to the Golden Diamond Source or visit us on social media to learn more about birthstones.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Love in America. I'm here with Jenn and Tim Meister. We're having so much fun chatting. And congratulations, guys, celebrating your 10th anniversary this year.
Yes. Yes.
So congratulations to you.
Yes, thank you.
So before we went to the commercial break, we were talking about what you remember in Tim's proposal was, "Will you have my children?" It's so romantic. So you guys are the proud parents. So you adopted twin boys, and now you have a little
baby girl,
a baby girl that you hope to adopt as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
So okay. Tell us about your personal journey, Jenn, on that. So I had Jenn on an On the Record show where we talked about surrogacy. You're an attorney, and we are so appreciative of people like you protecting our kids. Just have to say.
Thank you.
So in your own personal journey, the two of you both decided to adopt.
Yes. Yes. So just like every other married couple, it was like, all right, we're going to get started. Let's go. We had one of our talks, and I came off the birth control, just sort of the normal steps, and it wasn't happening. And it was like months turned into years, and it wasn't happening. And we knew, okay, well, maybe we needed to talk to somebody or go see a specialist. But at that time, I mean, we were broke. I had a ton of law school loans. He was just out of the school, so that was not an option for us. We went in, had some testing done, but couldn't afford to kind of keep going. So then we were like, okay, well, what are we going to do? And at the time, I was a prosecutor for the Department of Children and Families. And I had seen all of these children kind of coming in and out of the courtroom. One, because, their first trauma of being removed from their parents, but then the second trauma of all of these issues in foster care. They were getting removed from foster placements. And I came home to him one night, totally unrelated to the fertility stuff, and I just said, I really want to be a part of the solution and not the problem.
Oh my gosh, this is giving me goosebumps all over. You guys are such good people.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And I was like, I feel like there's a way to help, to get involved. We're good people. We don't have the world, but we could really at least give children love and stability while they're with us. And even though he was scared, he was 100% on board. And that's just a testament to how amazing of a man he is to father children that weren't genetically his, but to go 110% into fathering them because it's right for them.
I think it says a lot about the two of you, though, as a couple, and your strong communication, and and thank you for sharing that journey, because this show is unedited, unscripted, and so a lot of times you guys don't know the questions,
right.
But I'm sorry, I'm choked up about it, because to see your personal struggle at the time, but instead of seeing it as a struggle and getting caught up in, oh my gosh, in despair. And Tim, you can talk about this. You turn it around, and now you're amazing parents to 3 kids who really need it.
Right.
It was a challenge, though. I mean, it wasn't easy. We had the boys leave us for a while, and that was heartbreaking, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah.
What happened there? So because they were foster kids?
Yeah.
So how long did they live with you before
they came home from the hospital to us.
Oh my gosh.
And then they were reunified with their birth mother like a week before their first birthday.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then things didn't work out there, and then
they came back.
How long did it take for them to come back?
So it was about 6 months. So Christmas Eve.
More than that.
Well, Christmas Eve they came back into care, and we had let the license lapse because we were so heartbroken over all of it. And so they called us like, come get them. We were in Cincinnati for Christmas with his family, sort of freaked out. And then they were in a group home for a couple of days, which, 1 year old, it was hard. And then we got back, called everybody. We had actually very good relationships with the birth family on both sides. So, and we still do. We very strong relationships with them. So they were like, we'll figure it out. So we found the foster mom in Arcadia.
Oh my gosh.
Arcadia. And drove every weekend, picked them up, drove them back to our house, and then drove them back every weekend until we could get the license reinstated.
And for people who are viewing, because we have international viewers from so thankful for as well. So Arcadia, to give people an example, how far away is that from?
That was about an
hour and a half,
2 hour drive from our home, back roads. It's a very small
little town, rural town.
Wow. So guys, talk to me about, I can't believe you went through that. Again, I'm like caught up in my words because this is like, so I can imagine though as a couple, talk about making you stronger as a couple, right? Going through the infertility, process, and then this, and thank goodness the boys are with you now.
Yeah.
So what advice would you have?
Communicate. Don't be afraid to share your emotion, I guess. Communicate.
No matter how raw it is, just. Yeah. This is the person that you should be able to go through the hard times with. So you have to be raw. You can't, no masks, no nothing. This is how I'm feeling in the moment. And then you process it truly with each other.
Don't dwell on the past.
Don't dwell on the past.
There's a solution somewhere. Hence, if we dwelled the boys leaving, we
wouldn't have been in a position
get them back.
To amp back up and then get them back,
Right. So Jenn, when you talk about being raw, of course we know what being raw is, but what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean? Like, were there times that you just wanted to yell and scream, or what do you mean by that? And how did you guys handle it as a couple? Yeah.
Well, one is I think dating, marriage, all of it has taken on this, and I'm a divorce attorney, so I have a very interesting perspective on this. It's taken on this almost. People think that they get stuck in we call it the honeymoon stage, right? So that's when you're wearing the makeup and you're dressing, and everything is this image because you want this person to like you. But what you want is for them to like the image. It's not the real you. But, when kids are sick, when bills can't get paid, when you're dealing with life's very serious issues, nobody wants the sort of done-up Barbie doll. They want the real person, and they want to feel safe. They want to feel protected. This is, when I say raw, I mean all the way down to the grit of your emotion. I'm scared. I don't feel safe. I don't feel stable. I'm depressed, or I feel like hopeless. These are the types of really heavy emotions that I think people tend to steer away from. Your partner's got to know that stuff. They've got to feel it. They've got to understand it. And then they have to know that you transition as a person. So, the Jenn 10 years ago, 13 years ago is not the Jenn now. Same thing. Tim's not the same person.
It's like you grow together.
Yeah.
And I've shared several times that the show is unedited and it's unscripted. And I hope you guys don't mind that I ask this question, because to me, love is love. It does not matter. I mean, to me, love is love. It does not matter. It does not matter
Right.
But were there challenges, and are there challenges being an interracial couple? And if there are, that's so sad.
Right.
There should not be.
Right. Yes, there are. I haven't really experienced much of it lately, but I don't know if it's just because we've been together for so long that we don't even sort of recognize it or know it anymore. But we had the basic, like, you know, we'd be walking down the street holding hands and, you know, guys would treat him a certain way or say something rude to him, or women would say things under their breath to me. We had just issues with sort of like the older generation not being okay with it, or, you know.
That's awful.
Yeah. And very interestingly, with the foster license, children of color, specifically of African American descent, are considered special needs.
No.
Yes, this was a big issue for me. I didn't know that.
Wait,
so we're going in.
But wait a minute, just because of the color of their skin?
Correct.
That's it?
Yeah. Because there was a very difficult issue placing these children in homes. So they gave them the extra status, but not knowing that was a very debilitating status. So anyway, we were in the foster license classes, and they kept, you know, hey, you guys could take special needs children. And of course, when you hear that word, you're thinking children who are medically complicated or things like that. And I was like, listen, those children absolutely need good homes. And it's not that we would be adverse to that, but we're brand new parents and you know, very young. I don't know that we should sort of run into that. And they're like, no, you guys will take special needs, but not knowing that that's what they were talking about. So we've definitely dealt with it from both sides, so the covert and then, like, you know.
I want to have a separate show with you on the record to talk about this.
Absolutely.
100%. So as we wrap up this show, Tim, with everything that you guys, you know, have gone through, and you're such a beautiful couple again, and you mentioned advice, right? Do you believe in true love? And would you tell men out there, yes, there is true love?
I do believe in true love. She lets me go golfing on Sundays.
Oh,
I do.
I do believe in true love. I mean, I kind of felt like fate brought us together. It felt like it brought us together. So, yeah, I do.
I've told him a million times, I believe he's my soulmate, 110%.
Oh my gosh.
Like, he was just designed for me.
Really?
Yep, good, bad, ugly Jen, all of it. He was designed for me, and I was designed for him. That's how I feel.
So I guess then we can say, to end this show, the two of you not only believe in true love, but you believe in soulmates.
Yep, 100%.
I do.
What an honor to have the two of you on my show. And thank you so much for being so open and so honest about everything.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. We like to spread the love, right? So if you guys have a couple that you would like to recommend for Love in America, or if you want to be on Dating in America, if you're not, you know, if you're single, or recommend a community story, please reach out to us. Reach out to the email. Also, you can share this show and our other shows on multiple media platforms. We're also on Roku and expanding soon. So thank you so much again for joining us, everybody.
Thank you for having
me. Thank you for having us.
Stay safe and have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Gems with Them is our way to teach you about the birthstones and the different color gemstones each month represents.
Ruby is the birthstone of July.
And its value increases based on the color and quality. Come to the Gold and Diamond Source or visit us on social media to learn more about birthstones.